They shoved fake guns in my face and demanded my shotgun. Two clowns in plastic badges thought they could take my Remington 870 like they had real authority. They didn't know I'd spent 20 years as a federal agent staring down men twice as dangerous, and I wasn't about to hand over a single thing to a neighborhood HOA president playing cop. Every Saturday morning, Pine Ridge Shooting Range was my sanctuary. That place smelled like gun oil and fresh mountain air, and for a couple of hours I could breathe without the ghosts of Nevada clawing at me. Same parking spot, same thermos of black coffee, same whispered morning partner to the nameplate inside my leather gun case. D. Ramos, 2008. Danny's initials. He died in my arms that year, and I'd been carrying both his shotgun and his memory ever since. Michael Thompson, the owner. A big Iraq vet with hands like bricks waved me to lane 7 like he always did. Perfect weather today, Thomas. Danny would have loved it. He was the only man I trusted with that part of my past. I thought it would just be another Saturday. Then Elizabeth Jones walked onto the range. Designer sweatsuit clipboard like a weapon fake sweetness in her voice. I'm the HOA president here at Sunny Meadows. We need to discuss safety protocols regarding firearms documentation. She wasn't talking to me. She was talking at me with that brittle tone of someone addicted to control. Behind her trailed her son Ryan, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. I set my shotgun down carefully, keeping my voice calm. Ma'am, HOAs don't have jurisdiction here. This is private property. She smiled like I'd just told a joke she already planned to ignore. Pulled out a map, red marker circles everywhere, homemade scribbles pretending to be official. According to our new assessment, all recreational firearms activity must be documented for liability insurance. She spread it wide like it was the Constitution. The thing was a forgery. No stamps, no signatures, not even the right zoning lines. But what chilled me wasn't the paper, it was her eyes fixed on Danny's gun case like it offended her existence. Ma'am, with all due respect, you might want to check with a lawyer before trying this again. That fake smile slipped. Just for a second, but I saw it. We know exactly who you are, Mr. White. Then she pulled out a thick folder with my name on it. Background investigation. My stomach dropped. By Tuesday, her game escalated. A black SUV with the neighborhood safety unit stenciled on the side looked more like pest control than law enforcement rolled into the range. Elizabeth stepped out in a cheap blazer with a knockoff logo patch. Ryan followed carrying binders stuffed with charts ripped off Wikipedia. This is an authorized safety audit, she announced, pretending like anyone believed it. I flipped a page. These are random bar graphs from Google, ma'am. This isn't an audit. This is a scrapbook. She leaned in close, her voice lower, sharper. Then maybe you can explain why your name shows up in Nevada records. PTSD, medical discharge. That one hit like a gut punch. Nevada, the night Danny died, was a word I couldn't even say out loud most days. My hands trembled just enough for her to notice. She smiled like a predator that finally smelled blood. The following morning, I woke up to find citations plastered all over my door. Grass too tall, mailbox not regulation. Unauthorized activities. Each one carried a $75 fine, all signed by the so-called Community Safety Board, which I knew damn well didn't exist. My neighbors were patrolling with clipboards, peeking over fences, snapping photos. Mrs. Patterson whispered an apology, said Elizabeth told them I was unstable, that I might be dangerous. And then Elizabeth crossed a line I never thought anyone would dare. She trespassed into my backyard memorial, my partner's Purple Heart in her hand, funeral photos under her arm, neighbors snapping pictures like it was evidence of a crime. Interesting shrine you've built here, she said. Some might call this an unhealthy obsession with violence. I clenched my fists so tight my nails dug into my palms. Detective Danny Ramos died in the line of duty. He deserves respect. But she wasn't there for respect. She was there for ammunition. She pocketed one of his commendation letters like it was hers to take. Ryan's face went pale. He whispered, "Mom, stop," but she ignored him. Eyes locked on me like she'd finally found the proof she needed. That night, I sat at my kitchen table staring at the folder she left behind, shaking so bad I could hardly keep the papers straight. She had my federal employment record sealed, medical notes, Nevada incident reports. For a moment, I believed her narrative. Maybe I was dangerous. Maybe I was the problem. My chest tightened. Old memories surged, and I almost packed my bags to leave Sunny Meadows for good. Then I thought about Danny, about his last words. Take care of my gun partner. If I let her rewrite who I was, I'd be breaking that promise. And I wasn't about to break the last promise I'd ever made to my best friend. That's when I called Tracy Clark, my old FBI supervisor. She didn't sound surprised. Thomas, we've seen this before. Coordinated harassment campaigns against veterans. Someone's feeding her information, training her. Don't give in. Document everything. By Wednesday night, Elizabeth had rallied the entire community into a so-called emergency HOA meeting. I slipped in early, and in the parking lot I overheard Ryan arguing with her. This isn't about safety, Mom. It's about money. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, you're broke. You're using HOA funds for investigators. Her reply cut sharp through the air. If I lose this position, we lose the house. We lose everything. That man threatens our future. Suddenly, it all made sense. The expensive handbags paired with discount shoes. The manicured nails hiding stress lines. She wasn't just drunk on power, she was drowning financially, and I was the lifeboat she decided to sink. The meeting itself was a circus. Elizabeth stood at the podium with a slideshow labeled Community Safety Crisis. First slide. An aerial photo of my house circled in red like I was Osama bin Laden. She twisted every fact about me, my federal training, my weekly range visits, my memorial garden into a portrait of a ticking time bomb. Neighbors gasped, murmured, shifted in their seats. Then Mrs. Patterson Blesser stood up. Elizabeth. I've lived next to Mr. White 2 years. He's polite, helps me with groceries, keeps his property neat. Are we really destroying him over speculation? The room went quiet. That's when Michael walked in, still in his range clothes, arms folded like a wall. I've seen dangerous men, he said. Thomas White isn't one of them. But I'll tell you who is the person stalking a veteran and using HOA funds to do it. Elizabeth's face turned crimson. She snapped back, if the community won't act, I'll bring in real federal authority. Tomorrow, you'll see what that looks like. And she wasn't bluffing, at least not in her mind. The next morning, pounding at my door. Federal agents open up immediately. My heart skipped until I looked out the window and saw Elizabeth in a bargain bin FBI windbreaker, Ryan behind her, and another neighbor in plastic tactical gear. She shoved a warrant in my face, photocopied Seal's signature from Judge Smith barcode from a FedEx box. I held it up for the crowd gathering outside. Federal warrants don't look like this. The seal isn't embossed. There is no Judge Smith, and this barcode belongs to a shipping label. Neighbors gasped, some started laughing. Ryan looked like he wanted to disappear. Elizabeth doubled down. Are you refusing to comply with federal authority? I raised my voice. No, ma'am. I'm refusing to comply with fake authority. What you're doing is a felony impersonating a federal officer, minimum 20 years. Then she made the mistake of targeting Danny. We need to examine the weapon you keep in your so-called memorial garden. That broke me. I went to my car, pulled out Danny's shotgun case, set it on the porch. This belonged to Detective Danny Ramos, my partner for 8 years. He died protecting his team in Las Vegas, March 15, 2008. His last words were, "Take care of my gun partner." The crowd fell silent. I told them the story how Danny held off 8 armed suspects alone, how he bled out in my arms. Neighbors wept. Even Elizabeth's face flickered with doubt for the first time. Ryan broke down completely, tears streaming. Mom, stop. Dad would be ashamed of you. Then the real SUVs rolled up. Black Suburbans, government plates, tinted windows. Agent Tracy Clark stepped out, badge, gleaming presence, undeniable. She scanned the scene. The fake warrant, the plastic badges Elizabeth's knockoff jacket, and shook her head. Ma'am, impersonating federal agents is a felony. This badge, she held it up, was purchased online for $15. This jacket is from a costume shop. This warrant has 12 errors. You're under arrest. Ryan stepped forward, phone in hand. Agent Clark. I recorded everything. The harassment, the stolen HOA funds, the payments from out of state. She wasn't working alone. That was the final nail. Neighbors who had once believed her now saw her for what she was. Elizabeth Jones dragged off in real cuffs, still shouting that veterans with PTSD were dangerous. But no one was listening anymore. I stood there on my porch, Danny's shotgun in my hands, while the woman who tried to weaponize my trauma against me was driven away by actual federal authority. And all I could think was this: sometimes the fastest way to destroy a bully is to let them believe their own lies long enough to hang themselves. Justice doesn't always come easy, but when it does, it's final.